さん、こんにちは。私のチャンネルへようこそ。今日は渋谷に行きます。Nastia は star guest today.
こんにちは、Nastia です。Actually, my name is Anastasia, but Anastasia is very long. So every Russian call Anastasia by Nastia.
I see, okay. Because I'm Alexandra, but also that's so long, so I became Ali. Yeah, so that's just my nickname. Today we're going to be talking about our lives in Japan and specifically about what we love about living here in various aspects. Before we get started, I would love you to introduce yourself.
皆さんこんにちは。I am Nastia, and today I am so happy to meet Ali.
Thank you.
Yes. And today I will try to speak in English. Actually, I have not talked in English for maybe 3 years, so my English is not so good, but I'll do my best. And what about myself? I'm a YouTuber in Japan, and I'm taking a video about Japan history, about food, and so on.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you very much.
よろしくお願いします。
Please do check Nastia's channel. The link is in the description box below. It's very entertaining and you definitely want to check that channel out.
Thank you.
Yes, it's great. Yeah, and I can see through your channel how much you love exploring Japanese culture, food, many aspects of life in Japan. So I'm really excited to be talking to you today and to understand, what do you love about Japan the best? Okay. So before we start talking about what we love about Japan, I'd love to hear some point about your own culture and how this is different to the Japanese way.
Okay, when I came to Japan first time, I noticed that people in Japan are more maybe polite.
Okay.
When you meet for first time, he or she will speak with you politely. But in Russia, we speak more casually.
Okay.
So if you meet even first time, almost everyone will speak casually, not politely. I don't know, in English there is not so polite speech like in Japan.
We don't have like a specific set way of talking, but I suppose the sentences that we use, for example, they'd be a bit longer, or we might be a bit more like, oh, sorry, would you mind doing it, like a little bit more showing that we're cautious, but not like keigo as such.
In Russia we have keigo, but it's not so difficult like in Japan.
I see.
In Japan, everyone polite. So if you meet first time, everyone will speak politely. And when I came back to Russia, and someone spoke to me casually, just hey, but we don't know each other.
Okay.
So I irritated a little bit.
Yeah.
Why?
I see. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because I got used to Japanese conversation style.
I see. I think many foreigners who come to live in Japan and stay here for a certain period of time, we just kind of adapt to the Japanese way, and then when we go back to our countries, it's a bit of a shock, that how did we live for, I don't know, for me, like 25 years in this way,
Yeah, it's so convenient. When I came back to Russia, I thought that why Russian people don't do that?
I know. Yeah, I think Japan has thought ahead in so many little ways that now we think, why doesn't my country do it? So how about Japanese food?
I really love Japanese food, especially ramen.
Ramen, okay.
Yes. Do you like ramen?
I've never eaten ramen because I'm allergic to gluten. Yeah, gluten ni allergy, so... Sad. Can you explain, what's the kind of, enjoyment of ramen?
I think that ramen soup is tasty sugiru.
I see. Okay, right. So if you could only ever eat one bowl of ramen, what would be like the perfect bowl?
I like tonkotsu ramen.
Okay, right.
Yes, it's my favorite one.
Okay.
With egg.
Okay. I love eggs in Japan.
Are the eggs different to Britain?
I kind of mean more the way that eggs are incorporated in cooking. So, for example, I could eat gluten before. Only about 8 years ago, I had to stop. But before that, I used to love udon. Yeah, and my favorite udon dish or style was cold udon with an egg on the side, and you dip it into this like just raw egg. And that was so good. The udon is so soft and silky, and the egg, I don't know, it's just like amazing.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
It sounds very tasty.
Yeah, but in my country, it's not really a raw egg kind of culture. Yeah.
In Russia, we cook scrambled egg
Oh, right.
or fried egg.
Yeah, yeah.
But in Japan, I really like chawanmushi.
Oh, yeah, yes.
For me, it's like egg puri, not sweet egg puri.
I feel like this about hampen. Yeah, I feel like it's like a dessert, but it doesn't taste sweet. Or like a marshmallow.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
It's like the fun of a sweet, but the health of a not sweet. You know? Have you tried hampen with cheese and nori?
Yes, I have tried hampen with cheese,
Okay.
but not with nori.
I recommend with nori because the hampen and cheese is very soft, whereas the nori has like a nice crispy, salty aspect. Yeah.
I have never seen the hampen with nori in a supermarket.
No, not in the supermarket.
Ah,
Well, in Ali's kitchen.
Ah.
What's your favourite thing to cook?
I prefer simple things. So, for example, sometimes I cook meat with vegetables and just add the sauce with shoyu mirin and, for example, sake. Then that's all.
Wow, okay. That sounds really tasty and quite easy.
Yes, I like easy.
And I think that's another thing about Japanese food that I like. It's not complicated. You know, like how sometimes the French food, it's like there's many things in this spoonful, but I don't quite know what they are. There's too many things happening, but Japanese food I think is simple enough for you to really taste each ingredient and really like relish it and enjoy it.
Yeah, Japanese food, it's simple and not complicated. But even if you eat it every day, you don't get bored.
Yes, that's so true.
So, Alina, what do you like?
I love mochi.
Mochi.
Mochi,
Oh,
yeah.
mochi is good.
Oh, we must be careful about the topic of mochi because I get really excited and I can talk for like hours and hours about mochi. Do you have a sweet tooth? Do you like sweet food?
Sweet food. Yes, of course.
Okay, yeah. Some people say no and I'm like, I need to go. So what's your favorite Japanese sweet?
Daifuku.
Oh,
I like daifuku with strawberry and some cream. Sometimes anko. Do you like anko?
I didn't like anko when I came to Japan,
me
but
too.
yeah, we've changed.
Yes.
Yeah, now I like it.
I like the challenge with food. If I see some new product, especially sweets,
Okay.
yes, I'll buy it and try.
I know, that's the thing. It's a very nice thing that there are always new seasonal items and that food is always good, but it's a little bit dangerous, isn't it? Like, there's always something delicious to buy, and I'm like, today is no dessert day. And then I go to the supermarket and I'm like, ooh, it's a new mochi, you know. Oh,
Yeah, I understand.
What's your favourite time of year in Japan?
When I came to Japan the first time, I liked summer,
I
but
see.
the last summer was terrible.
Too hot?
Too hot.
I see.
Yes, and now maybe I like spring and autumn.
Right. Less extreme.
Yes.
I'm still where you were when you came to Japan, and I love the hot, humid Japanese summer. I just love the heat. I love the sunshine. Like wintertime is so sad. I'm like counting down the days. When is summer coming? You know, like, oh. Have you traveled around Japan?
Yes, I have traveled to many places in Japan.
Where was your favorite place?
My favorite place is Shimabara.
Shimabara.
Shimabara is in Kyushu. I really love Shimabara's nature. Many years ago there was a big earthquake, and after that earthquake there are many, not lakes, but some small
Pools of water.
yes, and there are many koi cups.
Wow, I see.
The second name of Shimabara is Koi no machi, koi ga oyogu machi. So there are many koi cups,
Oh.
and it makes very beautiful atmosphere.
Did you make a YouTube video about your trip?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great.
Yes.
Right, so that link will be either up there or down there, but please check it.
Thank you. It's very good place, so I will be glad if you watch it.
Yeah, great. Japan has this magic to it, I feel. When you were explaining about the koi carp everywhere and the history of this island, I really felt that like magic, and it's difficult to explain, I think. It's like a beautiful dream, you know, it's hard to express in words or even in pictures sometimes, but it's all about feeling, isn't it?
I agree.
I think every foreigner that comes to live in Japan has some interest in some place about Japanese culture. So maybe it's manga, maybe it's anime, maybe it's, you know, the clothes or the manner. What is the thing that you most like about Japanese culture?
For me, it's history.
Okay.
I like Japanese history, especially Sengoku Jidai, 16th century. When I was in school, I find out the book about Japanese history. That book was about a person who lived in Sengoku Jidai.
Okay.
In Japan, it's a very famous person, Toyotomi Hideyoshi.
Okay, right, yeah.
And I read the book about him, and it was very impressive for me. And after that, I read one more book about Japanese person, Miyamoto Musashi, and that book was impressive too. It made me want to know about Japan more. And after that, I started to watch anime, and I noticed the Japanese language is very beautiful. And I started to learn about Japan more and more. And now I'm here.
Right. Yeah, lovely. What is beautiful about the Japanese language from your feeling?
Pronunciation.
Okay.
Yes, I think it's very beautiful. And I noticed that when you speak in Japanese, you don't need to make some long sentences to deliver your feelings.
I see.
You can use some small sentences or some phrases, and your feeling will be delivered to person.
I see. I feel like it's much more subtle than English. You know, I heard that if you say to someone, the moon looks beautiful tonight, this is a way of saying I love you.
Yeah, natsume so suki ne.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite Japanese word?
Maybe it's yoroshiku.
Ah,
Yoroshiku
yeah.
onegaishimasu.
That's so nice, isn't it?
Yes, actually we don't have such word in Russian,
No, same in
and
English.
we can't translate it.
No. Yeah.
Yes, but it's so useful and convenient word.
Yeah.
So you can use it everywhere to
Yeah.
anyone.
Yes, yeah. Well, thank you so much for, speaking so much English and so well, and sharing your amazing perspective on Japan. Yeah, it was really interesting.
Me too. Thank you for today.
My pleasure, thank you.
It was a good practice for me.
Oh, good, well done. Yeah, you did really well. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's it for today. Please do check Nastia's channel. Again, the link is below. Do you have any other social media that you...
Oh yes, I am using Twitter and Instagram.
Okay, so all 3 links will be in the description box. Please do check her channel. Thank you so much once again. And
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you.
And until next time, sayonara.
Bye.
Thank you.